I'm Chris Oppenheim. People call me Church. I'm the owner of Interstate Inc. in Los Angeles, California. We cater almost exclusively to recovering addicts, and we have a program in place to help artists with addiction issues get their lives and careers back on track. We're trying to raise awareness, educate others, and reduce the negative stigmas associated with addiction. We want everyone to know there is hope, we do recover, and most importantly, even broken crayons still color. Welcome to today's episode of the Broken Crayons Podcast. My guest for today is proof that you should never judge an addict until you hear their story. This is my friend Kip Gross.
Yes, sir.
So, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm about to not be, though.
Coming up on 7 years?
Yes, sir.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So, you got a pretty dark story to tell. You want to just kick it off, or?
Yeah, well, I never thought it was a dark story until I got sober, so to me it was just my life, you know?
Oh, shit.
You know, like, and you can attest to this because I know a little bit about your story, is that it was just how I lived my life. Like, I lived my life on drugs or alcohol since I was 12, 13. I started shooting up when I was 14, and I didn't even register. And all those junkies know what that means. I didn't even know you had to register. I know that I liked the way it made me feel, like I liked booze, but once I learned actually how to shoot up, I pretty much gave up drinking and gave it all the dope, you know, heroin, coke, speed, all of it. And of course, that just led me down the road of constantly being in prison and disappointing my friends and family. And I have a bunch of grown kids I didn't get to see grow up because I was in prison. You know, it took a lot to get me to where I'm at today, that's for sure. I didn't even think that there was a better way for me at all. I don't know if I just didn't want it, or I didn't think I deserved it, or whatever the case is, but I definitely I spent 5 years, or 5 prison terms, about 5-6 years apiece in prison, just acting the fool as we do, and especially here in California. And I didn't even like it out here. I only liked it in prison because dope was easier in prison to get than it was out here. And I tell this, and I speak about it all the time, is I literally had to shoot a line to get to dope from my cell, maybe 2 cells down or whatever. And I thought that was perfect, you know, because I didn't have to deal with any of this crap out here. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of prison crap, but I was loaded for it all, so who cares? You know, and meanwhile, life's passing me by, you know, and I didn't even realize it, you know, until I realized it and wanted more for myself and my family, and I wanted to be there for my kids and grandkids. And it took, like I said, it took five prison terms, like probably almost 30 years of my life behind bars.
Jesus. How old are you now?
I am 53.
53. Yeah, that's the majority of your life.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, you and I have talked before, man. So, I'm pretty familiar with your story. Do you mind telling us, what happened when you were younger that kind of led you down that road to begin with?
Yeah, no, I was, you didn't even realize it at the time, but I was getting groomed by a priest. He's a pastor, priest, same thing. And when I was 10, 11, and he was a pastor at our church, where my dad was the director of the choir. And he started giving me stuff and just letting me pretty much do whatever I wanted, you know. He's the first one that actually gave me hard booze, you know, and I didn't think nothing of it. I thought he was just a cool guy. But actually, he was just trying to get in my pants, obviously. You know, and you don't even realize it's happening because you're a kid, and he's letting you watch Playboy, which to me is just Harry Bush porn because it was the late 70s. But like, letting me get drunk and giving me everything, and the next thing you know, he's touching me, obviously. And I try to tell my parents about it, and they don't believe me. And so I left home. I literally was 13, 14 years old. They thought I was just, overreacting and making shit up or whatever I was doing. I don't blame them now. Obviously, I did for years, you know. But
For not believing you.
yeah, for not believing me. But you know, you're a kid, and I was not a good kid. Not like I was some kid that was just getting straight A's, and you know what I mean. I was already well on my way to being a degenerate, you know, already getting thrown out of schools and all that kind of stuff. So when the hard drugs came, they just thought that was just this next progression, you know.
Right.
You know, they didn't. And I literally, like I was saying, I blame my parents at that time, but later come to find out that they were doing all kinds of stuff. And I didn't see it, of course, because I was a 13, 14-year-old angry kid. But, you know, they actually were spending all this money, sending me to treatment and doing all these things. And to me, they just weren't listening to me. The worst part about it is that was a catapult for me literally spending about 30 years of my life behind bars until I decided to deal with it, you know?
How long did that shit go on before you, like you said, you took off?
Yeah, no, it happened twice.
Twice?
Yeah, and I literally blackmailed him then because I was on the streets. Like, I robbed his house. I did all this stuff, and they found out, obviously, because I got caught with some, I don't know, some weird coins that were his, and he didn't press charges. And then I realized that I had him over the barrel. I was, I think, 15 or maybe 16, but living in hotels with different girlfriends, and he was paying for the rooms, you know. I didn't really even think about it, you know, until later on that I literally had him over the barrel, you know.
You pretty much fucking you had told me a little more in depth, like forcing him to.
Yeah, no, that was later. That was in my early 20s.
Right on.
Before I actually started doing some hardcore time. I mean, obviously I've done time the whole time, but I literally took him to places to make him buy me glassware and different kinds of things to cook dope. And literally showed up at a church because they changed churches every 5-6 years, and like stood up as a new parishioner and introduced myself just to watch his jaw drop, you know. And from that day forward, I would take him around and make him withdraw money, like literally thousands of dollars, and bitch slap him and do all this negative shit that made me feel better, you know. But actually, he was probably still doing it, so that's something I got to live with. But yeah, no, that literally catapulted me into like hardcore, like cooking and slamming meth and actually we never actually cooked anything because everybody's just all scandalous. Like, you get one thing done and somebody steals it, then you got to go steal it back. It was a fucking nightmare, actually. You know the meth runs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm pretty familiar with that substance too. So that's a pretty fucking dark story, dude. You had told me that you even fucking made him hold the tourniquet and shit.
Yeah, at one point when he switched churches on me, I found him, and we were about to withdraw money out of his ATM, and I made him hold my arm, and he is, "Why are you making me?" I'm all, "You created this, you fuck," you know? And then he didn't want to do it, so I bitch slapped him until he did it, you know. And not that I literally was not tough. I was like a 120-pound junkie that was 21 maybe, but I just had that much anger, and
I guess so.
yeah, I was angry, and I took it out on the world around me.
So, where you at now?
Where I'm at now, I am gonna have 7 years in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, February 14th. Actually the 13th, but whatever. I always say the 14th. Yeah, no, I'll have 7 years. I literally had to, because I'm so brain dead, I just asked one of my daughters, I go, "So is it 7 or 8 this morning on the way here?" And I go, "I'm doing this podcast." And I know they're going to ask, they're all, "Dad, it's 7 years." You know? and that is a really good feeling. I'm not that I forget my date because I remember my date, but have so much going on in a positive way that I don't remember. You know what I mean? Because this is now what I do. You know.
Did you have to like learn to trust people? I guess not necessarily. Maybe authority figures and.
Still don't trust authority figures, but definitely had to learn how to trust again. And obviously it's an ongoing process. As you know, the time you have, it's every year's a new challenge. And being able to face those challenges sober and having the tools to deal with them, you know. I'm not saying that I have a perfect program because I definitely don't. It's far from perfect. But I do know that, and this is the cliche part, but if I do what I did yesterday, I'm not going to jail and I'm not going to get strung out again, you know?
Right. So, Steps sponsor?
Yes.
Highly recommend.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have an ongoing thing with my sponsor because he never calls me. And it's like a running joke. It's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at, but somebody that has a lot more time than me that I respect in the program, he told me that you're doing it just the way you're supposed to do it, you know? And I'm not saying that, like I said, I don't advocate not doing because it took me forever to get through my steps. But I did it the way that I was supposed to do it for me, you know? And was it harder? Probably a lot harder. I mean, I realize that now, but I had to do what I had to do. And I don't know if I changed it, I would still be coming up on 7 years, you know?
Right. So, do you have any idea what happened to that piece of shit?
He's dead.
You didn't kill him, did you, Kit?
No. I did not.
I wouldn't blame you if you did.
I wondered about that myself. Many nights thought about it. Like, who's going to convict me of that one? But no, and that's what brought it up is the last time I was getting tattooed, I was telling you they are suing him and the church after his death. But, I mean, I told her, what are you going to do? Give me $1 million and buy me a new house? The lawyer lady? And she's like, well, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care because it has nothing to do with my case. It has to do with somebody else's case. And I told her, well, if I can help whoever, you know what I mean? I go, and I literally told her this because that's what I do now is I help people. I go, I will definitely be there, you know, for whoever is suing him. And I supposedly am a part of the case, but again, I really don't care, you know? I mean, obviously.
His same church?
Same church.
So basically it was brought to their attention and it kept happening?
Yeah, well, it kept happening. They move him around, you know? And I don't know if they do this on purpose. They say they don't, but because they've moved, most pastors or ministers get moved every 5 to 7 years.
I've heard that, and I believe that they do it on purpose.
Yeah, no, definitely.
To cover up the shit instead of doing shit about it.
Like the lawyer lady, because there's other people involved in this case, couldn't go into details about all the, like her case, but she said it's definitely what they did, you know? Because the people didn't even go to my church. It was a different church totally. And there's, I think, 4 or 5 people, she said, on the case already.
4 or 5 that they know of.
Yeah. And they found me, so there's got to be more. Yeah,
because you were, how many years prior?
Well, yeah, that was 1980, 79, 80.
How'd they even know to find you?
Because my mom said something to somebody else when I brought it to the attention, like in the mid-'80s or whatever it was, you know? And that person had heard that they were suing the church and him, so they wanted me to know, and then they wanted the attorney to know, and the attorney contacted me.
Wow. What the fuck, dude? Do you know anybody else that was affected by it? Like,
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do, but they wouldn't tell me. You know, I threw some names out there, some other kids that I thought, like one kid got like a new car when he turned 16. I'm like, what'd you do for that? You know?
Wow.
You know, and that
isn't all the shit he was buying everybody technically paid for by the donation plates?
Yeah. His salary is paid for by the donation plate.
Wow. What a real piece of shit. So, you got like a business of your own and everything now, right?
Yeah, I do. I remodel homes, bathrooms and kitchens mainly, but everything.
So, definitely able to heal from that shit, huh?
Oh yeah, like we were talking before we started taping. We were talking earlier about it. It's a process, you know. Even coming up on 7 years sober, you know, it's still something that I have to process. Not like I did when I was loaded. I didn't process nothing because I didn't obviously.
No.
You know, and so when I first got sober, I dealt with all this stuff, you know, during my step work and stuff like that. And it was a lot my first couple of years of sobriety, having to deal with all this stuff and finding out why I got there and what it was going to take for me not to go back there, you know?
Right.
And you know, it's because you did lots of drugs for years, so like that was all you know?
Yeah, and it's I think it's important to mention the fact that whatever we were running from originally, it is just the icing on the cake because we compound all these new problems and just more shit to run from, and you know,
and
what
you
I
don't
mean?
even realize it when it's happening. Obviously,
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? You cover it with violence or drug use or whatever you're covering it up for. You know what I mean? And compound everything tenfold, but you don't realize it.
Nope. It's like whatever reason got us going has long since been over with, and we're just running from new shit, more shit.
Well, I realized that a couple of years into my sobriety that I literally was like using this whole ideal and or whatever idea of him doing that to me and still being loaded at 48 or 47, you know what I mean? Still getting high and using this as an excuse to get high still.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think about it logically, obviously, because I was sober when I had these thoughts, but that I was fucking stupid. Like, you just wasted 30 years of your life. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking stupid. You know? But trying not to get, and you know, because you go through this when you're getting sober about beating up yourself about things, that I didn't let it like control my mind. I've seen what it was, and I talked to other people that have been through similar situations. Thank God, because of the program, you know, I was able to.
All walks of life.
Yeah, and got some help from some people that I normally wouldn't even talk to, but now are like my best friends, you know.
Yeah. It's fucking amazing, isn't it?
You know, it is, because they're like never even been to prison, or like, because that was pretty much my whole stilo about everybody. If you ain't been to prison, you ain't shit, or whatever, you know, that kind of stupid mentality. But now some of my best friends are like squares, you know?
Right.
You know, they were alcoholics and drug addicts, but they're squares to me.
Well, that's one of my favorite things about the program is the fact that, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from. You know, race, sexual identity, none of it enters in because the one thing we have in common is the you know, drug addiction. And that's, you know, yeah, and
then you find out you have all these things in common with these people. Yeah. You know, and it's all because of being an addict, but like the way you're thinking, everything. Like, so you don't feel so alone. Like, for the years, I thought nobody understood me. I think a lot of addicts and alcoholics feel this way. That you don't understand me. You don't know me, or whatever.
Right. You don't know what I've been through.
Exactly. And to hear some of these people's stories that are, to me, worse than mine, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm like, wow.
We talked about that in another episode where it's just like, you know, I made it out to be like, you know, everything I went through was so fucking terrible. And then you start hearing other stories and you think, I had it pretty fucking easy, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And it wasn't easy, but comparatively, sometimes, yes.
No, it's definitely hell. It's just terrible, dude. You know, you got somebody who you're supposed to look up to and trust, and just fucking breaks all that down at a young age. You know what I mean? It's fucking twisted. I don't understand it.
No, it is twisted in a, like, I regret that it took me this long because of I have kids and I have grandkids. But I obviously, my life right now, I wouldn't change much, you know? I wouldn't change much. I obviously wish that wouldn't have happened to me, because when you get forced into that situation, and people don't realize this, whether it's male on male or male female, when you're dealing with an adult mind against a child mind, is you're introducing that child to something that he or she is not ready for. You know what I mean? Like the wants and desires of sexuality and like all these different things. You don't even realize that when it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those things are supposed to happen naturally.
Naturally, and not forced by some weirdo fucking adult. But like, I realize this now, especially being sober, because this is the longest I've ever been sober in my life. But
me too.
Yeah, that it totally shaped me, you know. And like I was telling the lawyer, like, you're gonna give me 30 years of my life back, you know? Like, what's the price for 30 years of my life? When she's asking about what I would ask.
The church doesn't have enough money to fucking
no, that's what I was telling her.
Pay you back for what you've been through. You know what I mean?
And but like an idiot, I use that as a cross to bear. You know what I mean? And in my own mind to stay loaded. You know, like we were just talking about. Like, you don't know what I've been through. You
right.
know?
That's true. You know, like when I see somebody standing outside 7-Eleven when I'm going in to get a fucking drink or whatever the case may be, and they ask me for $1, I fucking give it to them.
Yeah.
Because I've been that guy standing outside of 7-Eleven asking for a fucking $1. You know, you right here and now are proof that you just don't know what the fuck that person at 7-Eleven has been through. You know? It's like you were you're most comfortable in prison. That's
sad.
That's scary. Because, you know what I mean? Like, that's where your fucking experiences had taken you. But, yeah, I've tattooed you a few times. I know you're fucking doing well. You've even been able to kind of make jokes about your past, and I think that's one of the sick ways we deal with shit.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, if I didn't laugh, I'd cry, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, big time. I can't, definitely not. Fucking, I would probably shoot myself. I mean, so that's how I deal with it, is sarcastic humor, as we both have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I was talking to somebody about that one in another episode too, where we laugh at shit that's just not fucking funny.
Not really, but it is to us.
So how many kids you got now?
I have 6 kids.
6?
I have a 6-year-old all the way up to a 36-year-old.
And do you think that having dealt with what you dealt with, that you're kind of like protective to the point of, you know, like you're leery of people are in their lives, people that come around?
Yes and no. My kids, we raised them. We were little kids having little kids, you know. And I always tell everybody that my kids raised me. I didn't raise them.
Nice.
And they are actually really smart, and they're I don't know how, but I raised them from a prison visiting room and loaded when I was out here. They love me to death, and I don't know. I was just blessed with really good children. That's all I can say. One thing I am very stoked on is I'm able to see my grandkids at least get raised, you know?
Right.
Which obviously, if I was still loaded, I would be in prison or loaded. Either way, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You know, my first.
I think it's a huge misconception that, you know.
Oh yeah.
You're in prison, things are going to be any damn different.
Well, like I was explained, like it was easier to get dope in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Like out here, I have to drive and pick up or meet somebody. In prison, I just got to shoot a line or whatever, you know? Like,
right.
They bring it to your door. Well, it's a lot easier.
Yep. And the shit's stronger. They're not going to sneak the crappy stuff in.
No. It was stronger.
Fuck, man. You ever find yourself in situations where you're able to help somebody younger than you who's just been through something similar?
No, not yet.
No.
I have obviously help whenever I can, anybody in the program, because that's what I do now. And nothing that has come to light to me, and maybe it happened, who knows,
Right.
I know that recently I just helped a friend from the program pass, and we're dealing with the aftermath of his death. He died of cancer. I explained to you, and I came that he died last week, and it literally has been one of the blessings of my sobriety is to be there for his daughter and his mom, and didn't even realize it was going to be like that, because
Right.
I was just doing what I do. He got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, I'm pretty sure it was, and called me to come get him from the hospital because I had talked to him a couple times.
Of all people.
Yeah. No, it was crazy because we work together and we go to punk rock shows together. We do a lot of things together, but he's like kind of a social butterfly. He's got like 1 million friends, in sobriety. And for some reason chose me to take him home to his mama, and I never left. I pretty much was there until he died,
Saw something in you, dude.
Yeah, no. I don't know what it is. Somebody else that was there a lot of time, my friend Billy, she said the same exact thing. Because me and him weren't relatively close. We were good friends in sobriety, but he called me and he said, "No, I want you to come get me. Can you come get me?" And I said, "Well, of course, It didn't work that day, and I went and got him and literally was there almost until the day he died. But it's a sad tale, but being able to be sober and be there for somebody and their family like that is probably one of the strongest things since my sobriety has started that I've been able to do for somebody else,
Shows that it works.
No, it definitely does. I've been thinking a lot about it, obviously, because he just literally passed a few days ago. That if I was loaded and we were friends, I would not have done none of that,
No, hell no.
No, I wouldn't even have come close to it.
Even if he was leaving your money.
No, definitely not. Well, I would have got lost on the way or something would have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd have been 9 hours late picking you up.
Almost there, bro. I'm almost there.
Yeah. I'm in the parking lot, I swear. Oh, shit, man. You even got some grandchildren.
Yeah, I do. I have a bunch of grandkids. And I have another granddaughter on the way.
Granddaughter on the way. Another one?
Yep.
The fuck? Somebody's busy.
Yeah. They don't like TV. That's what I say. My kids don't like TV.
So when you find out more about that whole lawsuit situation, I'm interested to see here what the hell happens there.
I'm waiting on a callback, whether they're actually going to pick up the case.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to turn into like a tort case or something, the way the lawyer was talking. She didn't use the word tort, but that's automatically what I think about, because there is multiple people, and she wouldn't give me the number or tell me who they were or anything like that. But
wow. I just don't understand what the fuck makes those assholes do that shit.
No,
it's like so common with fucking priests and shit.
Well, the weird thing about this particular church is they don't have to be celibate. It wasn't even a Catholic church where they're celibate. It runs rampant, obviously, in the Catholic church, but this church, they can get married and,
Wow. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So, I read the Bible. It's not in there.
No, it's not.
Biomechanics, huh?
Biomechanics. Love it.
Yeah. It's because it's a fucking artistic interpretation of what's going on in our heads. Uniform chaos. That's why
I told you I took to drawing it like 30 years ago for some reason, and it's still around.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I absolutely love this shit. But,
That's a good spot right there. Thank you.
when is your 7 years?
February 13th.
I actually have 4 years and like 4 days, I think. January 30th. I moved out here, man.
All in a row?
All in a row. Yep. It's been 4 years since I tried to drink or drug myself to death. And I was doing a fine job. Yeah, I was definitely good at it. Damn.
Yeah, no, I thank the Huntington Beach Police Department for my sobriety date.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got into a big old fight with my wife.
Last arrest?
Yeah. Got a big old fight with my wife, and they weren't doing nothing. They were just going to make me leave because we were fighting, blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, can I look in the room, you know, and like, sure, whatever. Of course, my wake-up's right there on my nightstand. And they took me to jail. And that's the last. I didn't even get well. Which, of course, I cussed at for a month because I was kicking. But like that wake-up would have done nothing. But I literally, without Huntington Beach Police Department, that fight with the wife, I don't know who knows where I'd be.
He didn't get arrested. He got rescued.
Oh, I totally got rescued.
Yeah. People don't even realize that. Sometimes when we get arrested, it's a damn gift. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, the guy that I ended up being in his cell, he's an old friend of mine. When I rolled into his cell, just got married this weekend. He's got like 5 years clean.
Really?
Yeah.
You stay in contact with a lot of the guys you were in prison with?
Yeah, if they're sober.
Yeah, well.
Or I'll find them because they're sober because of, you know, a meeting or something like that. But we have a strong group where I grew up pretty much, Yorba Fullerton, Placentia area. And I've been shooting dope in that area, you know, on and off my whole life. And there's some people that I used to shoot dope with 30 years ago that are sober, you know. And we have a strong little family of sober people that where we used to rob people, now we help people, you know. Which
is pretty amazing because these days they're dropping like flies. There's not a lot of people left from when I was younger who didn't overdose. It's so common now. Like, I don't think people realize how bad it is. You know, some people don't. Obviously, people like us who are close to it know exactly how bad it is.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that too because we just lost somebody. But I think we know more about it than the rest of the world does. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I was just at a memorial the other day for one of the addicts in our community. He passed. This guy, Nick, fucking young, dude. He's only like 24, 25, I think. But while I was there, I was giving a couple people some bad news about another one. You know, the guy who made these watches for me. The Interstate Ink watches.
Yeah. You told me about him.
It's like, you know, when I first came out here, there was a girl who died. She overdosed. And another girl died, overdosed and passed away while she was planning the memorial for the first one. Wow. It's like that's how fast these it's fentanyl, dude. They put that shit in everything now. You know, I don't even understand it. I don't.
Yeah, and you don't even know it's there either.
Well, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, it's got to be bad for business to kill your fucking customers.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, I miss fentanyl. Like, I've been sober. It was not around me.
Yeah, I made it out just as it was becoming prevalent. As a matter of fact, I did the whole trap house thing from Christ. They weren't even called trap houses when I got into it. You know, I was 17 years old. I got my first place of my own, and I realized you can make a lot of money just having the spot for everybody to go to, you know.
And if not, stay really loaded.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. You know, because that's ultimately the goal anyway. I don't give a shit. Whatever money I make, I'm spending on dope anyway. But my point is, I saw more overdoses in the 8 months before I came out here than I did the entire 25 years or more combined prior to, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. I've buried more people in the last couple of years than I have.
It's just crazy. Like, my routine didn't change. I did that. You know, having the house was the hustle. That's what I used to say. The house is the hustle. And I did that for until I was 40 when I got clean. You know, I always had this, you know, crazy ass shit going on at my place. And like I said, the amount of overdoses just through the fucking roof. It was happening on a weekly basis. You know, a lot of people were taken out in ambulances. A lot of them, you know, some woke up on their own. I don't know, some didn't wake up at all. But it was just constantly somebody falling out.
Back to back to back.
Yep.
And it was not nothing to you, though. When I know that.
Definitely desensitized to it. But now that I'm clean, I can look back and say, wow, that
Well,
was...
you know, I just explained this to somebody that when somebody died of, because I'm a heroin addict, if somebody died of heroin, I wanted to go where the heroin was that he got.
Yeah.
Because that was the good shit.
Yeah.
And that's sick when you think about it.
Absolutely.
You just killed a good friend of mine or maybe just a passerby, but it didn't matter. I wanted to hit shit because that was the good shit.
Without a doubt. I almost killed myself with cocaine one time. I ended up in a hospital for about a week, you know, handcuffed for my own safety and the safety of everyone, because I was delusional. I was fucking completely spun. The minute they released me from the hospital, I went straight downtown for coke.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, same routine. But I think we're at a good stopping point to take a break from this, and we're, I believe, out of time for the podcast as well. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Broken Crayons Podcast here at Interstate Inc. Kip, thank you.
Thank you, sir,
for telling that story. Like I said, never judge an addict until you've heard their story. Like, subscribe, comment. Help us spread the word so these voices can be heard. Peace.
Why you bully me?